Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to another Ray Night Live episode back to back with me and my homegirl Erin. I'm going to let y'all know about the What's Going Down episode of Southern Charm Season 11 finale. Everybody, please help me welcome Erin to the stage. Yeah.
Thank you for having me as usual. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you had a good week. I just went to jury duty this Friday, but got released.
Oh.
Yeah, and well, listen, they called us to the jury pool, and they let us know there was a judge pre-screening for a 19-day trial.
Ooh, that sounds juicy.
Oh, that was like first degree, murder. Like something like that, because courtrooms are usually closed on Fridays, well, to the jury. So that means 5 weeks. 5 weeks. That was a major.
But 5 weeks?
5 weeks. 19 days. Think about it. There's a 5-day week.
Oh, yeah. No, 19, 5 days. Wait, wait, hold on.
4.
19 days.
That's 4 a week. Because the jury usually doesn't meet on a Friday.
Oh, okay. I'm on the right. I'm on the right street.
Mm-hmm. So that was cray, but I didn't even get called for that. Only about 6 people did, and then the rest of us, they told us to get in line, and they dismissed us. So yeah, part of me was like, I can't do that. I got stuff to do. But part of me was like, ooh, that's like a major one. I was very intrigued. There was a part of me that wanted to,
Yeah. Man, I wish I know I'm going to get my shot again this year. I was real close last year, girl. Real close. I was just so happy that they chose me. And then the person said guilty, didn't want to go through it. I said, well, what's all this rigmarole for if you're going to plead?
Yes. I have served before. I think I've shared that with you. And so I did find the process fascinating. I would be down to do it again, but I can't do a 5-week commitment. Plus, I don't think you come out of a trial like that the same person. I don't think
you know what's going on,
True. But hey, listen, if I didn't have commitments, I'd be like, I'll do it. I wouldn't raise my hand, I'll do it.
Yeah, because with what I got planned, I may have to postpone mine because it's usually the time frame where I'm in and out of. So I don't know, but I know I'm gonna get a summons this year. I know for a fact I'm gonna get one. So
yep. So shout out to the potential jurors that are on a 5-week trial.
Yeah, shout out to all those wanting to do civic duty and doing a good job, all those, involved. And if you on the defendant side, stop getting in trouble.
Ooh.
Shoot. Just stop. It's enough going on this road. They don't need to.
There is a lot going on.
Everybody on alert. Stop.
Yeah. I'm just here to, do my thing, stay out of trouble. unlike some of these folks in the season finale.
Girl, listen, we are here to brighten up the day. We want to get you through all the mess going on these shows and on what I call 1600 Pennsylvania / 1313 Mockingbird Lane. That's where the monsters live. I mean, with all the mess going on, we want to give you some pleasure, something to entertain you, because we're going to be talking about these folks like they may have a tail, but that's okay. That's okay. Some of them do. They need to slow their tail down. Where are my notes, child? Make sure I'm talking about the right people, because both shows.
Right.
Ooh, Lord, and don't forget, y'all, we got Real Housewives of Beverly Hills coming up at 9 p.m. So after we done with these heifers on Southern Charm, we're going to go to the rich heifers of Beverly Hills, okay? Where are my notes? You ready to talk about these people, child?
Yeah, yep.
Well, we're going to start Craig and Austin, child. You know, they seem to come to an understanding. Seemed like Craig tried to blow off his outburst and his trifling verbiage, tried to blow it off, but then Rodrigo was like, hold on. Don't you think you need to be apologizing to some folks? So he apologized to Sally. He apologized, after Sally put him on the spot for the most part. Because they was all sitting down for dinner. You know how they do. They all get together, and that's when they want to cut a rug. So she sat next to him on purpose to see if she could nudge him in the right spot. I wish she would have nudged him in the right spot to Benita too, because she didn't deserve that. But I guess whatever.
I'm sorry, I didn't hit the mute. I just coughed, everybody.
Well, So, and then Charlie thought that the apology wasn't enough, but she didn't tell him. Of course, she said in her what's the people called? What's the thing? Girl, my mind is gone.
What?
Confessional.
I was like, wait, give me context clues. What?
Anyway, what you think about that mess, child? Craig apologizing.
I do think Benita got left out of that. That kind of sucked, right? Like I feel conflicted about Benita because Benita has a lot of passive aggressive tendencies and likes to kind of say stuff to her buddies, and then when confronted, I could tell confrontation I think makes her uncomfortable. She couldn't eat, she's walked away. I think there's some avoidance there. However, if you're going to go on about Craig inappropriately yelling at people, you should include her, because just because, she doesn't have a crush on Craig doesn't mean that, she doesn't deserve to have that happen too. I think that the thing that bothers me about this is that Sally has been all up in Craig's intestines and his business and his dating life on the side, this entire time. She has literally been messing with his with his love life. So I understand, and he's the worst guy, right? Because he's the chicken motivation. And hold on one second. I had some spicy Thai rice and it's knocked everything loose. Oh,
I'm hungry. Don't say nothing else.
It was shrimp fried rice. Anyway, it was with basil. It was good. Anyway, so it just bothers me that they act like Craig doesn't have any reason to be upset. I'm not excusing his behavior. I just it's you also kept talking crap about him, But, he gave cute little apologies, except to Benita. So, because, I think, obviously, this is the reason why nobody likes Craig drinking heavily, because he just gets, mean and mouthy.
But Sheezy, I agree. It seems like Vanita say one little thing about his ex, he can't forgive her for nothing. But here Sally is bad mouthing him every chance she got the entire time after he told her he didn't feel the same way. Immediately, he's the worst thing since sliced bread. He caught her talking about him at the same point when he told her he didn't want her talking about him. He keep telling her, but that deserves an apology and Vanita don't. I'm just
Well,
you know,
Vanita was. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, it just seems like he chose not to apologize to Vanita, and it seems to be because of her choice in selecting his ex. That seems to be the issue with him more so than anything else. So it is what it is. He made a choice. He'll regret that. Hopefully, he'll be more of a man and apologize for telling her that she doesn't exist in his world, because that's layered with some arrogance and boy, please, what world? The bottom of a beer can? Come on now. She swims laps around you. Let's be clear, sir. She
Well,
upholds a certain integral part of this show, where you're the one always being told this, that, and the third. You're the one looking sloppy on this show. Let's not forget that. So,
she also did constantly try to get Sally to stop hanging out with him, saying he's not a good person. He's going to hurt you. So I mean, she's definitely decided to get in the mess with him. So I think, although I think that their situation should have been addressed as well, someone should have stood up more for Vanita in the situation. Uh, you know, I can understand why he doesn't like her. She doesn't say nice. She's buddied up with Austin and likes to talk crap. So I don't know. I just feel like people. Uh, it was in the mess kind of thing. I think Craig does need to apologize for his delivery, obviously, and I think part of his avoidance is admitting that, the drinking is getting the better of him again. But both of Sally and Vanita were literally trying to affect Craig's Craig's life and talking about him. So I don't know. It's a little bit more nuanced for me.
yeah, he showed his true colors with that one. That was real sloppy of him, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was. It was
Yeah, it's
sloppy.
just sloppy, period. And he needs to not do that because of his business.
Yes.
He caters to people who have, that a certain demographic that wouldn't oblige someone who was out there, was that word, berating women just
Right.
because he didn't like what they said. And also, it ain't like Vanita went and slept with somebody. Sally over there. It's just a whole lot with that just kind of irks my jerk with how how they treated it, because also they can tell Vanita behind the scenes, but not in front of him. But they can tell him in front of him regarding Sally. It just seems like the scales are unbalanced simply because it's Vanita and that's Sally.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I agree. Craig was
Scales are
sloppy.
unbalanced.
I agree that Craig was sloppy. I agree that well, I also think yes, Craig really needs to kind of like go back to the page, like you're doing non-alcoholic beer and maybe like
Yeah.
like you need to stop. Um, I like I've said from the jump, I expected Craig to be a mess this season because, he thought he was going to marry someone that had a very public breakup. I would expect a
Yeah.
spin out. It doesn't excuse it. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying, like, I was ready for this spin out because I just think that, he lost his compass. And so he's got to recalibrate. I think a more sober Craig is coming because, what led him to that and that relationship is going to come back to bite him. It'll hopefully sort itself out. Um, and
Mhm.
I think that they're not addressing his beef with Vanita on the same level. I agree. But at the end of the day, both of them have said a lot of crap about him and tried to dissuade Charlie, somebody he liked, from getting involved with him because they were saying he's not a good person. So, I can understand why he doesn't care for Vanita and why he was mad at Sally.
Mm,
But
mm, mm.
Craig, your delivery when you're not hammered is much more reasonable than when you are, because nobody likes that, Craig. Nobody.
Right, right. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Rein it back
Maybe,
in, dude.
and maybe he shouldn't do anything with Vanita since she doesn't exist in his world. Not nothing. Not sit next to her, not talk to her, not invite her to anything, not go to nothing she's doing. Because that was hurtful to say. Like, I don't
Yeah.
in your world, fool. We on the same street. I don't want to keep going back and forth with this because that could be a whole show by itself, probably.
Yeah. We
Big
we
ups
agree
to
on the important part.
Anita and Sally and Craig. Big ups to all of them. Good luck. Now, this is what we need to talk about, this baby coming home. Now, this is
Oh,
the light with all that darkness we just discussed, child.
yes.
She's so cute, so teeny weeny, itty
Yeah.
bitty. Teddy, did they give her middle name?
I don't remember what the heck. I don't remember.
Hmm. Well,
I'm sure
anyway,
she I'm sure she has one, but I don't know. Sorry.
yeah. So the baby was about 4, 5, maybe 6 weeks early, something like that.
6.
And 6,
Uh-huh.
4 weeks. Yeah, that's 6. Oh, I forgot. Can't count. So she had to spend a little time in the NICU. We found that out already. However, it's really nice to see it, unfold and see the baby come home. And Madison's looking good in her confession. She back. Snap, snap, snap. Okay, the girl looking good again. I'm not that she wasn't, but she
Yeah.
she looking like she looking. She's snapping back. You can see in her confessionals. She got that chisel face again with that dimple. She's just really an attractive woman. Everybody's just, I mean, who gonna get mad at a baby coming home? I'm just saying, it was just a beautiful moment, something we needed in this show with all that other mess going on. It was just so sweet to see the little
Mhm.
teeny weeny, then her brother holding her and everybody crying and of course the spirit of her dad and all the things. So hopefully we'll get to see more Brett's family around. They are on opposite ends of the country, but is he from Cali? Do you know?
Uh, Probably because I mean, the only thing I know is, he obviously works there, so he was living there.
Well, big ups to them. I'd like to see more of his family and everything, even at their party. I don't remember seeing. Well, anyway, it's been a minute. That was
They might not want to be on camera.
that part too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anywho, everything is hunky dory.
Mhm.
Uh, the house looks better. It looks furnished.
Yeah.
She said that the house was getting furnished around her 40th week, which was around this time. This would have been her 40th week because the baby came home at her 40th week. So good for them. I love a dark wood floor. I really do. It's really, really nice looking. Anyway, any comments on the baby?
No, it was a sweet scene. I think it's sweet. Like, you could see how much her and Brett love each other, which,
Mhm.
like, did you ever think you love something so much? And he said, yeah, you. That's like, that's really sweet.
Mhm.
Like, they really do seem to, like, be into each other, equally yoked kind of like relationship, which I think is sweet. And so cute to see Hudson holding her, and yeah, it was nice. Congratulations, you have a lovely little family, Madison.
I hope he gets a paternity leave. I remember that came about around the time I had my kid, when I, started learning all about the pregnancy leaves, and they get the same amount of time
Yes.
in California than the first six. Actually, it could be 8 because a vaginal birth gets you 6, and cesarean gets you 8 weeks minimum. So whatever, how long, I hope he gets to have that bonding time. I think they may have also additionally or maybe reverted to bonding, whatever, with the baby. So hopefully he'll get some good time off, some time, not just a week, but some weeks off, so for them. Yay. Another cute kind of moment. Charlie's mom calls her. She's unpacking all that nasty clothes, sniffing them, trying to see what. Girl, if you don't put all that in the washing machine, please. Everything been touched, ma'am.
I don't want to be caught on camera sniffing my clothes.
That part, friend. That part. Hello.
Just don't. I'll just pretend I'm getting it ready for the laundry. I don't need to smell it on camera.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Girl.
I know it's reality TV, but like there would be some things I'd try to be mindful of.
That part. Anyway, where are my notes? Yeah, so she calling her mom calling her, and she give her mom the tea. Mom calling for the tea. That's her. That's how we met her mama, when they was talking, dishing tea. And she, tells her, oh, it was a nice, cool moment, except for, the Craig stuff that we already know about, and how she's like kind of avoiding Craig. But her mom told her the same thing we told her. Heifer. No, she didn't say heifer, but she said, heifer, you need to, hold him accountable, or at least talk to him, and don't just avoid him, because that's not a cool thing to do. Of course, we said more, but that's what her mama told her. So I know we right. If mama's saying it, then I know we was right when we said it. Anywho, what you think about that?
Charlie's non-avoidant behavior, girl, next season you better be ready to talk. That's all I gotta say. Like, I gave you a lot of leeway in the beginning, but you're starting to annoy me a little bit. Like, you were into Craig, you got the ick, and now you're just avoiding letting him know, and like you're stringing everybody along, and it's just like, I don't want to see you back next season unless you get this fixed, because there needs to be more clear communication. And not only that, but like, I get that Craig behaved in a way that we've all been there where we're dating someone and they act a certain way, and you're like, and it just like the magic just breaks, the bubble bursts, you're just done. You're like, I don't like you anymore. It just, like I said, gives you the ick, where you're like, ooh, that's it. That's fine. But this kind of moral superiority that, like, oh, I'm not like that, and I don't like this, and I girl, you haven't been on a reality show for like 10 years. Like, like this, a lot of, and listen, we're gonna get to it later, but like there are some really performative confrontations and some things that, like, you can tell when they are amping it up sometimes for the camera. Not all the time, but like there was in this episode, I can't wait to get to this, where I'm like, you're literally like forcing like a fight in a monologue. Like, it's
Right.
performative. Like Salt Lake City gets real performative, right? We know I've said that a lot. So I just kind of like this idea that you're better than anyone. No, because just as Craig, as confrontational, or like berating, that's a great word. Shout out to Ray Ray all day with the word of the day, berating. The way that Craig berates, you avoid. You don't talk, you know? So, and like, I know she said in interviews that she had called Sally and told her about the oyster date before it happened. So, obviously, like they've done before, production is shucking and jiving with us, and I don't like it, you know? But, it just seems like, uh, there's a lot of avoidance going on, and I'm like, you really know better than he is in certain ways, you know? So, I don't
Yeah.
know. I just found it kind of annoying because I'm like, get out of here. Like, you're 28 years old. You haven't lived as much life as Craig, been on a reality show for 10 years, dated another Bravo celebrity. Like, you haven't gone through crap. Just wait, you know?
Well,
I'm
who
not
knows
excuse.
the way she keeps things close to the vest? Who knows what she's been through? But
True.
I understand exactly what you're talking about.
You know, I'm not excusing Craig. I keep saying that, but like at the same time, I'm like, you know me, I don't like it when everybody piles on, and I just feel like, it's very easy to scapegoat Craig's drunken ranting as like
Mhm.
the entire problem when it's really not. Yes, he needs to address it, but all y'all running around him, y'all have some parts yourselves.
Mhm. I agree. It's not
Uh,
cool to pile on everything. It don't take a whole lot of people to say one thing. They tried that mess with me one time at work years ago. I said, I only need to hear one person talk to me right
yeah, it's really
now. Hello.
it's bullying, you know? It's not whenever there's like a group think against one person, like you're putting one person's back up against the wall. You're putting them in a position where it's incredibly hard for them to stay level. Like I know it's a 9:30 show, I mean, a 9 show, but like Amanda, I'm actually kind of amazed at how collected she stays when everybody's coming at her. Not that I like Amanda, I'm just saying I am kind of impressed by how flatline she stays when people are coming at her.
Right.
Um, Unlike Craig. So, and like I said, Craig is going through something right now, like maybe we could just give him a tiny bit of grace. And if next season the ego's still giant, he's still a big old mess, then pile on.
You sound like Shep.
Well, I'm not quite excusing as much as Shep, but Shep had a rough season too, lest we forget, after Taylor, he had to go lick some toads and do some ayahuasca.
He
So
was eating hot salsa and chips, talking about his ayahuasca.
listen, that's kind of one of the things about Shep is that he is pretty good about like he knowing what his job is. He knows they're on a show where they have to, it's better if they get along. It's better if they find resolution. It's better if
Mhm.
you move past things, you know? And I'll give it to Shep. He's kind of the first one to try and move that shit along. And like, if you want to stay on a show, realistically, you got to do that.
Well, let's move on to this Carolina Day party Miss Patricia threw. I
Right.
love a good Miss Patricia moment, child. I live for him. We're like, where's Miss Patricia? And they, soon as
Yeah.
I said that, here she go. I don't
Yeah.
recall. Now, is this the same thing that they were at the the horse races?
No.
That
No.
wasn't Carolina Day.
No.
Okay, so here, because I was like, have I seen a Carolina Day before? This seems new.
It is new.
Okay, good. I ain't tripping.
Uh-uh.
Well, we see Eddie and Ryan poke they
I
head
know.
out of the gopher hole to give
Uh,
us a glimpse. We ain't seen them since last year.
right, and how he was conspicuously left off of the reunion.
Well, I mean, Rodrigo was there.
Uh, but yeah, it's interesting. You can tell dear sweet Miss Patricia needs a shorter outing these days, right? It was more during the day. She had her little drink, she said hello, and then we heard her, I'm ready to go home. This wasn't like her little Remember the ball or the evening she usually throws.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to see her stay longer. I was wondering, dang, she was there for like 5 minutes. Well, they filmed it for 5 minutes. I mean, this is her party. We should have seen more of her during at least the more of the show. Well, that's just what I like to see.
Well, yes, I agree, but like I don't know, I kind of get the feeling, I think she's a little more frail, I don't know if she really had much in her.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Well, she was looking good. She was trying to help Sally look for some sperm, y'all, because Sally said, "Oh yeah, I would like a baby." She's doing small talk with the girl because they were talking about Madison and her newborn. So then Miss Patricia, I think maybe Miss Patricia had a little too much to drink because she was literally asking for men's sperm for this woman. I said, well, I understand sometimes. I just thought it was a little crass for Miss Patricia. She's just so much more pulled up than that. I said, maybe she had a little too much to drink. That was a little, that's a little bit, in my opinion. Just saying. Now, don't get me wrong. I love me some Miss Patricia. I ain't trying to knock the hustle, but did you think that was a little too much, or you just thought it was just some humor? I mean, I don't know what's going
on. I don't know. I mean, her son is Whitney, so like, I wasn't really that surprised. I thought it was kind of funny, maybe the way everybody was kind of reacting to it.
She gonna always be guilty by association.
Right? Yeah. I mean, like I said, I walk back. Whitney was much more agreeable this season, much less drunk and doddering. So I appreciate that. I feel like he got all the criticism from last season and decided to like show himself. But yeah, it was cute. Whatever,
Well,
cute little moment.
The next shock of the night was Rodrigo, that he saw Shep bringing an age-appropriate date.
Yes.
This thing, my man, that stepped up and got one of still in the club because she's Bonita's tennis coach. So he's still circling around, ain't venturing off too far, But yeah, he brought her. She seemed to be cool, tennis. So she's fit. She wants kids. He said, so do I. I'm 45. She's 37. Shep, I understand, sir. But if you make her your baby mama, we gonna have a problem.
My God, he is not. This whole thing was a ruse. Like he needed to have a date for this thing. He asked her. He's probably just hoping to get laid. I don't think he even brought her to the bars after. Like this is where I started to feel the hand of production, or like even them pulling some ish themselves. Like I was like, he joked, I want kids. I told her I'll be a donor, like, stop it, like, none of this is real. He's not gonna get with, like, no, he's gonna try and find some young, I don't even know what he's gonna do, but like, I didn't buy this at all. But it was fine. I don't care if you have a date. Great, I'm glad you brought a 37-year-old woman. Yippee. Like, I also don't believe you're gonna go anywhere with this either. So,
Well, let's say who else was shook, because we know Craig ain't gonna have no kids with Charlie no time soon, because she was evading him like the Black Plague child, and then try to tell him, "Oh no, I just saw you busy, girl." She be lying her behind.
This is where I don't like her. Well, he could come up to me, bitch. You're the one that's avoiding him. He thinks that you guys are fine. You got the ick from Mexico, and you pulled back the throttle. It's on you, girlfriend. No, that's not reason. So you're supposed to get distant and weird, and he's supposed to come seek you out, even though he feels like you're just darting away every time he's in the room.
She's delusional. Who raised this girl? What?
Yeah, the way the way you didn't like her in the beginning is making me start to feel a little bit like, your instinct was correct,
I got the eye. I got the eye, friend. Wasn't that true about Sally?
Yes, but maybe I don't necessarily agree quite as much as you about certain things about her. I definitely
98%.
Oh girl, see, look at this. She's trying to just load it up. But
Okay, 95% right about
no,
that.
no. I still think Gaston participated. I think that there was more going on there than her just, things in the air. But I don't know. You called Sally out as trouble in the beginning as well. But
Yeah, just the trouble part. Just the trouble.
yeah, well they call you the tornado,
Delusional.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Anyway.
you're right. No, I just got another confirmation watching Watch What Happens Live. So yeah, I mean, you're right. The exaggeration is there. I still think Gaston was a little sloppy, but that doesn't mean that Sally doesn't fabricate, because like there are several. I have to hand it to you. There are several fabrication. Yeah, there are. But yeah, so yeah, I did not like Charlie's behavior this episode. I was like, girl, what do you think? Like, who do you think you are in the scheme of this?
She plays too many games.
Yeah.
She tries to lie. Even Sally caught her in a lie when they were down to the Mexico when they was arguing. She's like, "No, you didn't." It's just Sally is expecting people to. It's like she's in a fantasy because what was that avoidant term you said about her? Conflict avoidant.
Oh, conflict avoidant. Yeah.
Because she's so conflict avoidant, she drums up in her mind that people shouldn't expect what they've been getting, as Craig pointed out, and he spilled the beans to Sally, saying how up until the issue of him going off in in Puerto Vallarta, they would be on the phone all day, all night. If they ain't sleeping, they talking, texting, FaceTime, and making plans, to go out of the country, making plans, all these, that, this, that, and the third. Sally didn't know. She blew that up as if she should have known, confronting Charlie. But for Charlie to be saying all these things and then portray or downplay it as to her not knowing that she should have talked to this man prior to now about not moving forward. She almost would have got cussed out if I was Craig.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
She deserved it. And I remember a scene, I wish they had flashed back to it, where, remember when they met up at a bar before, like, Craig was going to go to dinner, I think for Austin's birthday, and she straight up said to him, I remember this clearly, "No, I see it getting serious between you and I." Like, she said that to him. And, like, it was in the context of, like, not seeing other people and, like, focusing on each other. So, like, with the second she said, "I never said I wouldn't see other people," that scene flashed in my head. And I'm like, but you told him you saw this getting serious. You were absolutely trying to downplay what the level. I don't believe her at all. And I find that annoying. It's like, stand your ground. This is where it's like, and we're going to get there, because that fake ass scene between Sally and Charlie, like, oh, I really, about the truth, get out of here. Like, yes, I am the kind of friend that if my friend really likes someone, I'm not gonna go after them. I rarely ever like the same guys as my friends anyway. Like, we're usually different enough. Like, I haven't had a lot of that problem. However, if I really liked someone or vice versa, and like the guy likes my friend and it looked like they might actually have a shot at a relationship, because I love my friend, I would be like, you gotta pursue it. You have to try, you know, like, you know, so like, let's say like we all hung out in a friend group and it just became obvious that there was like really something, a real connection between them, you
Mhm.
know, like, I don't want to get in the way of anybody's serious relationship because if they don't want you, they don't want you. And if you don't want me, I'm not going to block my friend because then it looks like I can't get over it, like, and move on. And that makes me feel pathetic, and I don't want that, you know, personally. So I kind of just found this whole dynamic this entire time about Sally being so upset to not know stuff and Charlie like feeling like she had to withhold. It was so immature because really all it needed to happen was, I know that you liked him, but we like each other. I'm sorry that hurts you. I don't really like talking about it because I know it bothers you. And you keep trying to like persuade me to not date him. So I'm just trying to maintain our friendship while at the same time really give this a chance because you're just not, because I love you as a friend, but you're like really in the mix and it's annoying. You know what I mean? So like,
Mhm.
and I guess maybe these are just two grown up conversations. You and I have been at life a lot longer than these fools. So, you know, but it was just kind of ridiculous because I feel like Charlie really did come out like very disingenuous about how she's like, you know, trying to be liked by everyone and not standing in
Mhm.
the truth. You can't backpedal and pee pop, girl. Like you led Craig on for sure. I think he had a right to feel led on after
Mhm.
um like until you had this conversation.
Of anybody to tell off, that's the one right there. Wait a minute, you telling me after all is said and done and we done talked about and did and said and carried on, I don't care if it was a week straight, that much time spent, faith, all that she did not deny, that she actually did. And I believe Craig when he said it all happened. This
I
I
do
believe
too.
wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you, yeah, it would have been a nice talking to. If all listen, Heifer, you lucky you got off easy, and that's what she avoiding conflict because she knows she's wrong. She has a lot of growing up to do.
She does. And like honestly, if you the way you felt justified in talking smack about Craig's tantrum, you should have said it to his face like that. You threw a tantrum that I found so unattractive, it changed how I feel about you. Stand in your truth, girl, because you're telling everybody else that's what happened, and then you're just telling him that you just it changed for you and you just want to be friends and you really are committed to being friends. And Craig's
Girl.
looking at her like, we're not gonna be friends. And I'm the same way. If we dated and whatever, like I'm not just gonna be your friend now. Oh, I don't really like you. I just want to be your friend.
Right,
No, I don't want to be your friend. Because if
right.
you don't like me anymore, then like, you know, like yeah. If I were Craig, I'd be insulted.
Girl. Oh
Besides, I don't mean to be mean, Charlie, but Craig can go find another one of you going out at the bar at night. Like, there are so many 28-year-olds that have their ish semi together, like you, that are very pretty, that would love to be with them because they're not famous and they are starstruck. Like,
my.
that is the problem with those boys, including Shep.
Yeah, you are a dime a dozen, no shade,
Really?
but you
Yeah.
haven't brought anything unique to the
No.
situation of dating other than being more avoidant
Uh
during
huh.
conflict than anybody else we've seen. Everybody else, I, I haven't seen this yet with anybody like to this degree. It's like, girl, you doing all this and now you have look. I mean, I've been watching the show and I have yet to see this. Plus, like you say, you look like everybody else. Everybody over there, skinny as a rail, young, pretty, all the things. So bring something different. Bring something worthwhile. And it's not the shade. It's just this right here is a major character flaw of you. And it's not attractive. No matter how much you look like the it girl, this right here is ruining your reputation. Just saying.
Well, it's just ironic because, like, you think Craig his tantrums were like, shouldn't, like, are appalling. Well, you're like the opposite side of the spectrum. Your avoidance is kind of appalling, but
Yeah.
you know,
The
I get it.
audacity.
Right, I get it. We weren't there. Craig probably said worse, like, I get it. Whatever. Like, it's always interesting when you hear people, like, in interviews and stuff about what's really going on. The point is, I'm sorry, girlfriend, but you could easily go the way of Olivia, of Taylor, of, many people past. You could easily go by the wayside and not come back next season, and I wouldn't really care.
I'll be right back in like 30 seconds.
Okay. I don't, you know what? One thing I will say that I'm finding annoying is the way that, like, Leva's showing up on occasion, but, like, jumping in. Like, well, if you're a girl's girl, you would tell her, or, like, like, dictating certain things. And I'm like, I was just like, girl, you have not been here. You have heard third-hand stories, stuff on the side. Like, I don't need to hear you. You're never in scenes anymore. You're not on the show. I don't need you to, like, put some kind of comment in there to try and wrestle some stuff up. It just is annoying.
Wait,
Like,
I
it's not
missed
that
it. Wait, what happened?
Leva was like when Charlie and
Oh,
Sally were talking, and I'm just
yeah.
like, you're not on, you don't go here anymore. You know what I mean? Like, so I felt. I'm like, no
Oh,
offense.
friend, I was thinking the opposite.
Well, she's not involved in storylines anymore. She gets third-hand information at best. I swear to God, the producer's telling her, just say this and get it going. Like, I'm like, she doesn't go here anymore.
Well, was she wrong? Because the others were in agreement.
Sally had unreasonable expectations for what she expected of Charlie, in my opinion, because
Mm-hmm.
she made it weird ever since her party at the beach house. Craig, you talking to Craig? Oh, you too much to Craig?
Mm-hmm.
And so it makes my brain hurt because everybody is kind of like telling this part of the situation a little bit differently. Now, in interviews, people have said everybody thought Sally liked Craig in the beginning, and it was a very short period of time during filming, that things quickly shifted, and that Charlie was clearly, into Craig, and like they had their thing going on, and everybody thought that Sally had moved on to Austin. That's kind of the way that it's been portrayed, right? Sally, once she told Craig and got shut down in the feed store, decided he was not a good person and started hounding Charlie about, see, he says this and then, made it messy, made it not fun to confide in your friend. And what happens when it's not fun to talk to your friend about something? You tend to not talk to them about it, right? So this idea that Charlie should have been sharing details, I think, is unreasonable because of how Sally was acting. She was not being a friend that was cool with her dating Craig. She just wasn't. So to me, it's ridiculous that Sally expected Charlie to share more based on how she was acting.
I agree with Leva in the sense that, going after a guy that your friend, got feelings for is murky waters. Maybe you should have, done something different. Even though Craig was not interested in Sally, that whole dynamic, is just weird anyway. And then saying that, she got a full-fledged, okay, go ahead and do it. Come on. We saw at the Pajama Jammy Jam, yeah, that's what she said. But look at how she said it. And plus it's just weird. And to see the text messages that Sally was sharing with Charlie, Sally was sharing with Charlie, it just seemed like, I don't think so. Is he worth it? And it turned out to be he wasn't even worth all of this. So, in the end, I think Charlie made a really wrong decision in going, forward with trying to see where it could be with Craig. And I think there may have been some peer pressure considering how this group rolls. Maybe she felt more compelled to do so because of how, past practice with this group of people. And it's as soon as you get in, you want to start dating somebody. How about just being friends with somebody? But instead, you want to go in and just start dating. Girl, we just met you yesterday. But whatever rocks your boat. But I have a problem with what Leva said because everybody else was thinking the same thing.
No, I don't agree. I think that
Yes.
Sally was so dick greedy. Let's be real. She was literally trying to claim everybody, making comments about Austin. Now they're making out like Sally and they're also on an ensemble show where there's chemistry. She's a new girl. I absolutely think on a reality show like this, going out with anyone's kind of fair game. I felt like this was Leva's comment was planted. I felt the heavy hand of production because I just did not believe. All of a sudden, now Sally's like, I really did like him. I said tonight, and you knew. And that felt fake as hell to me. It was completely contradictory to the storyline that had been going on the whole time, where Sally's over and over and over saying, I don't mind that they're going out. I just don't like not knowing. I don't like being in the dark. I don't like being not it made as clear. I'm not saying that maybe she did like Craig more, but I'm just saying that we have an about face contradictory moment at this party that felt very produced to me. I wasn't buying it. But I don't think Charlie did well, but I refuse, and I'm a girl's girl, to stand up for Sally's behavior because she wanted everybody. And she wanted kind of a monopoly over everybody. And I just don't think that's fair in a situation like this.
So that's 3 guys in this group she didn't show interest for. Even though, Shep was before she got there. It's just, girls, slow down, mama. Doggone. If Rodrigo wasn't gay, you'd be on him too. Are you just trying to get everybody in the group?
That's my problem. So it's like nobody can date them because you've like peed a circle around them. Like you'll do that with anybody that's attractive. Like, so I don't think that Charlie, like I said, I don't think anybody handled it particularly well, but like I just feel like Sally's trying to claim everybody, and like first you only liked him in the beginning, and then now you're making out with Austin. Like you're clearly effing around with Austin right now. So why should anybody feel bad that you liked Craig? Well, you're over it, aren't you? Like, what is it? Like, Austin isn't enough? Like, you need to have them just not get together because you used to have feelings for him? Like, what is going on? Or you have feelings for both of them, but you're making out with Austin? Like, I just, I can't get on board. Like, oh, you betrayed her. Get out of here. She wanted everybody. She already had Shep, so she didn't want him. Because Molly did.
I'll say this also about Sally. I would like to see her be a lot more mature with how she's doing this.
Yeah.
It's one thing to show interest and maybe just have a F buddy, a lot of, la-di-da. But it's too soon. Just happen as soon as as soon as the door swings open, here you go running through it. Girl, calm down. This is a circle of friends. They're not going anywhere. It's so quick. It just leaves a lot less to be desired. And how they talked about her as if she had a tail. 2 episodes ago, how they just described her during that pajama jammy jam night,
Yeah.
they were reflecting on what they've already said about her. Just knowing she's, just a lot to handle, so be careful. Like Craig said, hit it one time and that's it, dog. It's just the way that they're talking about this girl, this woman who's so accomplished, who has a lot going for herself. She doesn't even need the show. The show is just fun for her. It just makes me a little irked that she's selling herself short, where I can see more so Charlie needing the show. You know what I'm saying? To have something to fulfill her. But for both of them, they're both doing each other dirty.
Yeah.
So that's why they're friends.
I mean, I just think Sally was very greedy. And not only that, but has moved on to Austin, has moved on to pursuing something with Austin. I'm not saying anything's going to happen, but it makes you look even nuttier that you've already started pursuing another guy in the group and you're still hanging on to this past interest you had and trying to manipulate your friend instead of letting her find out for herself, which is exactly what you said to Vanita and why you sunk that friendship, because Vanita was trying to save you and you were like, I have to find out for myself, which I agree, you do. I don't think Vanita should have been putting a timer, a curfew. All that crap was weird and crazy. Vanita, I would be so mad if you were my friend. The last thing you get to do is control anything I do. You can tell me how you feel, but you can leave it there. But the hypocrisy. So you can find out for yourself about Craig, but Charlie can't, even though you're already doing things in the bathroom with Austin. Like, I just can't, then Leva, oh, you liked him and you knew. Get out of here. Sally likes everybody, Leva. Get on the boat. That's just how I felt. And so this whole you knew I really liked him. I did. No, it felt so fake to me. I producers, shame the F on you for this fake scene between the two of them. Meanwhile, when we get to the end, do you see how Sally runs after Austin like friggin' Cinderella missing a shoe? Like, get out of here. You know what I mean? So I didn't enjoy the way they tried to manipulate that crescendo. It felt very fake.
So after all that fiasco with these heifers, we see Austin and Craig talking about Sally and Charlie, and he's meaning Craig is getting Austin up to speed about Charlie. Charlie and I did not expose a lot of our dealings and discussions and plans with everybody, simply because nobody else's business, especially those named Sally, who was already throwing salt in the game. So
right,
that they're already having an issue with it. So pretty much the guys decide to blow this pop stand, and they trying to head out and go have drinks, maybe at the Lair, Whitney's place, or whatever. And like you said, here come Little Miss Hot Pants running after Austin, trying to find out or tell him what pretty much trying to let him know the tea. And she's so distraught, hoping that he would say, "Come on, let's go back to my place." That's why she went out there, because she wanted to go with him. But she ended up doing it. He's like, "Well, if you want to come with us, we're about to go hang and yada yada yada." Yeah, I'll come. And she's just giving him this stare and this look and just pretty much letting him know, if you weren't in such a quandary with breakup and Craig and just all your feelings, because that's what he said. He was, he's not trying to get into anything. If you weren't would you choose me? Girl, why do you want to be chose? That right there, pick me. Girl, you got too much going on trying to be chose.
But you're forgetting the Austin's blow up at Craig. Remember? Craig and Austin were sitting there and he was complaining about how Sally had gotten in his business, which she did, and
Oh yeah, I
Austin
just
lost.
briefly talked, but go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Elaborate.
Well, and Austin completely lost it and started performing. It felt like Austin literally decided to have an angry monologue. Craig, all you do is think of yourself. I just can't. I'm like, where did this heat come from? Like, what the heck? It's like, I know that you and Sally flirt with each other, but like, I know you don't think so much of Sally that, like, it just felt like Austin. There was something about it that was so produced and fake to me. I was like, oh, I guess you're deciding to have a moment, like a scene. Like, honestly, it felt that like performative. I was like, oh, get out of here. And not only that, but like, Austin, I'm getting tired of this shit. Like, you've said these things to Craig. What do you expect him to do at this point? Like, you keep just like, and Craig was super calm. Did we notice? Craig didn't even lose it without him. He stayed actually pretty level. So this is like in my scoreboard, this was a giant fail for Austin. Just like, dude, where's the horse that you beat to death? Did you park it outside? You know, is Miss Patricia gonna have to pay extra for carcasses? Because
Whitner said he likes to play victim.
he did, and Whitner made some smart-ass comment at some point that I'm just starting to not like him. So I just have a feeling. You talk about feelings, I have a feeling. And then I saw a few minutes of the reunion, and I just think I don't think I think it's gonna change. We thought Whitner was so, whatever, so great, to be honest.
Up until this point, he ain't,
He's had a good edit. That's what we talk about. He's had a good season. That's what everybody on the show keeps saying. And they're true. It's true. It's very easy to have a good season. They can edit you to look great, So he's just said some really arrogant toned things where I'm like, oh, all right, white male privilege. Jeez. But anyway, I just thought the scene between Austin and Craig was stupid. I thought that Austin blew up kind of out of nowhere and decided to have a tirade against Craig. I'm not saying that everybody seems tired of Craig. That's fine, Craig. You have some work to do. You need to get it together. But like, Sally was messing in Craig's life. She was actively trying to get Charlie to stop seeing him. Just like Benito was trying to get Sally to stop seeing him. So I understand why he's not happy with Sally. And, I just thought Austin, the way he blew up, was ridiculous.
You know what? After thinking about that scene, it kind of brings me to where Austin was reminding Craig how nasty he can be.
Yeah.
But then Craig was defending himself by saying, well, it's because of how he's treated. So he's, coming back with that type of response. And it's like, dude, the scales are way unbalanced, sir. Way unbalanced for you to come at people the way you do. It's so nasty, so rude. Shout out to Lenithia. So no, sir, it's your own perception, and because of how you feel, you believe you're justified. Sir, remember you have a company, you have a reputation, and it's one way to have an argument, go off the rails, but to do it in this manner, I just don't think it's smart for him business wise.
Yeah, but he was very calm in this response, though. I'll give him that. And he did say, I know I shouldn't act like that. I'm embarrassed. And here's the thing, though. Craig needs to put two and two together, which he's not ready to do yet, which is you get angry when you drink and you get irrational and you say really mean crap that is not commensurate to, not equitable to what's being thrown at you. Now, do you have a right to be mad that more than one woman on this show was trying to stop you from like dating someone you were interested in, potentially. Yeah, it's annoying. They like to hide their hand when they had a rock in it. I think both Nita and Sally were trying to do that crap. But it really boils down to, Craig, I think that your drinking is getting out of control again, and it's time to maybe address that. Because whatever level of alcohol intake you had that night, seemed like it was pretty low because he managed to stay calm. And Austin, on the other hand, shot off like a chimney or like a firecracker, and I thought he looked ridiculous. So, it's not just been Craig this season. Austin has been a bit of a bitch for me as well. And really, the two of them could get it together. Like, I just don't feel like this friendship divide is really that big of a deal. So that's why I just wanted to bring it up, because when Shep, little boys huddle about going out, it was Whitney and Austin. It wasn't Craig. Craig had been kind of booted from the situation. Craig had a rough night. He got dumped by Charlie. He got chewed out by Austin again. He was done. But I know that Shep, Austin, and Whitney going out, debauchery will ensue.
Girl, I was just talking and my mute button was on.
Yeah, I was like,
But I was saying after all of that, because after all of the yelling and screaming and wanting and panting and desiring and all the things, the last scene, child, Sally getting rid of the chickens.
right. Yeah.
They got big. Do you see how big they got?
They did. They were little toddler chickens.
They looked maybe like they were like in a 3 to 6 month suit, little onesie. Like they could have fit the 3 to 6 months section, because they was in the preemie section, you know what I'm saying. So she sold them to some farmer looking lady. I guess I don't know who she was. They didn't say who she was.
That's her mother.
That's her mama?
Yeah.
Shut up. That's her mama?
Yeah, she gave him to her mom.
Girl, I must have missed that part. I was like, some farmer looking lady.
I know, that's why I'm laughing.
My bad, mama. My bad. She's like a farmer shouting her overall.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's taking the chickens, I think Sally said, to their farm. So
I'm just disappointed all around, but they've had fun. Girl, all because a man. So if he still wanted you, you would have still had the chickens.
I know, right?
you ain't a friend of nobody, not even damn chicken.
Not even popcorn, cantaloupe, or whatever the heck the other one was named.
It's a dang shame. And culture. Well, at least they went to somewhere that they can be appreciated. I hope they don't cook them, Lord.
Yeah.
May they produce many eggs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. May you have a happy little life now that you've been freed from purgatory.
If they've male or female, I don't know. But Lord, bless the chickens. There's no telling what they went through before they left. Anyway, that was it. Did I miss anything else, friend?
No, Austin said on Watch What Happens Live, Sally's been doing interviews lately, which she has. I caught one of them, and he's like, she's trying to make it seem like we're a lot more hot and heavy than we are. So I think that, I mean, she also made it real clear to him. Remember when she said, I'm down for anything? Like, I think she made it real clear to Austin,
girl,
I will give it to you tonight. Like, let's go. So I think, because she said it. That was why when you brought up, she was like, well, if you weren't getting over, that, would you want me? And she even said, like, I'm down to go out, like, whatever, like I can't quote it directly, but it was like, oh. So, and then we see in the preview for the reunion, where Madison's like, y'all are crazy if you think that you're going to tell us you didn't bang. So I just think that at the very least, they slept together that night for sure. And so, but Austin is already like, we are not that close. You know, she's calling him her best friend, and he's saying, no, we are not. So she already, you know.
He stuck the head in Mexico, and I stand 10 toes.
Oh wow, that's specific.
We grown over here, y'all.
I know.
If you don't know already, kids don't even be right because mine ain't here. So they no kids. Just saying.
Yeah, so whatever they did, he's doing the same thing that he always does, you know, like, let's not forget Austin is probably, you know, the biggest HOE of the group. So, you know, Austin is Austining.
Austin
That's
what?
it. I said Austin is Austining.
Well, y'all, before we go, we're going to let you know about our up and coming shows. In about 22 minutes, we're going to hit you with a little bit of Rich Heifers of Beverly Hills. Woo, grown women conversations are being had. It's so refreshing to come off of these Southern Charm folks. It is. It's just so refreshing because it's, you know, we all, you know, around the same age. All of us pretty much went to junior high school and not middle school. It's so funny to me.
I
Anyway,
went to
tonight.
I went to middle school.
Well, you know, you and Amanda.
I was the first year that they had middle school. When you said not middle school, high school, not middle school, is that what you're saying?
Junior high, not middle school.
Oh yeah, no, I went to middle school, girl. I'm like,
you on the cusp anyway, so I'm gonna include you.
True. Yes, I was. The very first year they had middle school is when I went. So yeah.
Yeah.
I identify as a Zennial. That's that group of it's 77 to 85.
There you go. And tomorrow night, y'all, we got a late night creep, 9 p.m. Drag Race, RuPaul. We are celebrating Women's Month. What more than to celebrate the drag queens, the women of RuPaul's Drag Race? Yes, sir. Season 18, y'all, episode 11. We moving on down. So, y'all, we're going to find out where Erin is when she's not talking ish with me.
You can catch me on Facebook, Psychic Erin Boyd. You can also catch me on Instagram and Threads, Psychic_ELB. DMs if you would like to get a psychic reading, or just friend me on social media. I actually just had a client hit me up and let me know that some things that I had predicted would happen happened. So check it out.
See what I'm saying? She ain't playing. So y'all listen. About 17 minutes. Come back. Bye. All day.